Why don't you just
I'm
lay down
I'm
what you
recording.
think?
I'm recording. We can start whenever. I'll just cut it out as long.
Yeah, just start with your point, and then
Well, what are we talking about? I don't know what we're talking. Last time we talked about we went from college athletes getting paid, transgenderism, something else. It was a third point.
You said something about Jews, right?
Jews. Oh, I was comparing the
Oh, you were
suicide.
comparing transgenders to Jews, which was the most idiotic statement I've ever heard in my life.
I was talking about the suicide rate.
Even freaking was dumbfounded, and that bitch didn't even go to college.
Oh my god, are we leaving this in the podcast? Is this us starting? Holy shit.
I don't care, but even the girl that didn't even get higher education even knew that you were dumb at that point.
Why?
And
Why
the
is
fact
that a dumb
you're trying
argument?
to argue with me in front of like a bunch of kids about transgenders.
Oh wow! I love how you're switching up the scenery. I literally whispered all of this to you. It's not like we were talking in front of the kids. Like, oh, it's history hour. Let's talk about the Jews. That's not what we did.
We were on that conversation for like 3 hours during our shift. That's literally all we did because it was a Friday, and I remember when we were in the computer lab doing the typing thing, me and you were just going at it, and that's when you were
the
like,
kids weren't
"What
listening.
did you find out you were gay?" And then I had to like explain to you that you don't really find out, you're kind of born that way. And then that's when you brought the whole Jews in.
Wait! You did not say that. You did not say that. You said you were gay because of your environment. Don't switch this up on me now. Now you're just trying to fucking take a different stance.
That's true. I did say that.
You said you.
No. I said no. Wait. No. I said it could be environment.
Or I
said it's really hard to tell the difference between environment impact or when it's just a non-environment because it's such a delicate transformation between like that period of time of puberty and whatnot that we don't know if that's why they're not able to come up with the conclusion, hey, is it environment or not? And that's what I said.
But you said you were definitely environment. That's what you said.
Speaking from my point of view, yes.
But I have yet to meet someone that has said that they were born that way.
Well, what about if somebody? But kids know when they're like 5, and don't you think that that's kind of a little bit too early to decide such a big decision on environment impact? Hell yeah.
Well, if it's not a decision, if you feel that way already, it's probably not a decision, right? At 5,
it's not a decision, but it's not impact. It's not environment impact because within that time span between the time you're born until you're 5, honestly, how much are you picking up on what's feminine, what's masculine, and how is a man supposed to act versus a girl? You don't think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, at least not consciously.
Yeah, not consciously. That's why, like I said, like there's some cases that are environment impact, but there's also other cases. Like I have friends that are gay, and they literally will tell you that they knew when they were like 4 or 5 when they were dressing up in like dresses and whatnot. So I just think that
I have yet to meet someone like that. See, that's why. So you have, I have not. Every person that I've met,
more friends.
I know. I'm introverted. Who cares about that? But every gay person that I've met asked that question, has said info. I have yet to meet someone that has, nobody ever said they were born that way. Like, oh no, I don't remember a time where I was not gay. It was always something that going through.
But at the same time, how big is your pool of gay friends? Like, is it, like, go to freaking WeHo and, like, West Hollywood and ask around, and trust me, you will get different stories out the asshole.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a thing. I didn't disagree with it. I just said I've never had anybody just straight up say that.
That's crazy.
Have you, Leo? I don't know.
I'm just saying this is probably just like from my experience with like kids I knew in high school. I mean, like elementary school. Like there's always that kid that you could tell that he was kind of like, a little bit more feminine, and it turned out that he turned out to be gay. But I've actually never heard anyone say what Zach's saying, how like the environment. That's actually pretty interesting because
I always knew it was.
But do you guys just hear what Leo just said? Oh my god.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh jeez, are you gonna go off on that right now?
but you're defining. Oh, this is why I have an issue with straight people. Well, just straight men in general, but everybody else is fine. But what I'm saying is that
Like 40.
you literally just base sexual orientation on feminine and masculine. And see, this is why we have so many freaking, and I'm about to get real political in here. Why we have so many freaking mass shootings with these white men, because it's masculine based drive. Where do you see a freaking gay person shooting up anywhere? No, because gay people don't thrive on masculine of trying to show other males or other females how masculine, how strong they are, and that's what leads to violence, abuse, and all sorts of problems in a relationship. And the fact that that Leo just said, hey, well, when a person acts kind of feminine, they typically turned out gay. Yeah, that is the case, because that's environment-based impact. But that's not always the case. Like I was explaining to Felix that unfortunately, my dad walked out on me and my siblings when we were at a young age. So I grew up around very strong women.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah, and to me, that's not. Yeah, I probably have feminine features, because if I'm always surrounded by strong women, I'm gonna pick up on those features. But it's not always the case that if you're feminine that you turn out to be gay. But what I'm trying to get at the point was that we're associating sexual orientation with feminism versus if you're masculine, you're straight. Because to me, that's negative masculinity. That's not positive, and you're also deteriorating what it is to be feminine as a female or a male.
It's not deteriorating. You can take it as deteriorating. It's not deteriorating. He's just stating what he's observed. That's all he's observed. And typically, I'm gonna say typically as a safe word here, gay people end up acting more feminine or have like those feminine type qualities more so than heterosexuals.
Well, like this is like a funny story too, because I know there is like obviously masculine gay guys. I mean there is, because there's actually a retired cop that I know, and if you were just to go up to him and talk to him, you would never know that he's gay. Like you would never know. And but yeah, he's totally gay. But I'm guessing he's more of like you said, like more the masculine type than the feminine type, I guess. But yeah, I was just saying that like I said, in high school and like middle school, that's the kids that I would see. I'm not saying that they were necessarily like, oh, they were more caring than others, but like have, I guess you'd say, feminine qualities to them. But they like to hang out with girls all the time and stuff like that. I mean, not that there's anything wrong, but like they would like paint their nails, and they were like in, I don't know, like third or fourth grade. So that's pretty early, I think. And so who knows? I don't know. But like I said, I've never heard the argument of like people say that it's environment. Yeah, I've never heard, and it's weird because they don't really teach you that, or I've never heard anyone say that.
Well, cool. I think that's the argument that people that don't believe that being gay exists or something like that. Like that's the argument, is that it's always environmentally driven and it can be reversed. That's that's not my argument. That's
I know, but just saying like in general, like can't you pinpoint that with any freaking like mental state of mind? Like like nobody is born a freaking psycho killer, a psychopath.
Yeah, they're pushed that far.
Yeah, they're pushed that far. But
it's more, but that's where people are going
to someone's sexual orientation are two different ends of the spectrum, But what really baffles me is when people say, it's not a choice, you're just because of your environment. Like, why would anybody in their right mind would want to be gay in today's time? Especially with the backlash, the prejudice, the administration and whatnot. Like, why would anybody willingly choose to be different from the main population, to have negative attention thrown at them constantly and just kind of be in a way?
I would disagree with you with that one. I feel like everybody wants attention. That's why some people do it. It's like a phase at this point.
But to the point where transgenders are killed because they view themselves differently, to the point where homosexuals in other countries like in European, Middle Eastern, that they want that much of attention that they're willing to risk their life or their family's lives or whatever.
It's not everybody. It's not everybody,
but
that wants the attention. But think about it like this. Like, I'm gonna bring it up again because you think that's a shit point. but like, why is the rate for suicide so high? Tell me. It's not because they're being fucking bullied. You cannot just base it off of that. Especially in, what is it, the country, well, I'm going to Google it right now, Thailand, where it's a part of, what is it, the part of the gender, what is it, the consensus? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of that. Even their suicide rate is like 20-something.
But
Damn, it's really high. Holy shit.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like, no, that rate is probably lower by now. The one that I said earlier, about 40%, and that's just the rate of attempted. That's not like the rate committed. They've attempted it, but why is that so high?
because it's obviously freaking, they feel.
You really feel like it's that much hate compared to like people back then?
God. I think this is why I can't with you, Felix, because
is that not a valid like statement? Because you're not.
because you know why? Because you're not. Well, I don't know, but you're not gay. That's the problem, you know. Like you can't be telling somebody like, is it really that bad? It's like, oh, I can't tell an African American saying, hey, do you honestly feel this way against white people, especially with the trouble past that we've had with that type of community? Like you're like, I can't tell somebody that.
I feel like the
because I'm not.
gay and transgender community has had some of the smoothest rights movements out of all of them. I feel
well,
a lot easier than other people.
Well, obviously, it's a lot easier because, you know, the civil rights movement, it was obviously a big stepping stone for a lot of these upcoming movements, like the LGBTQ movement and whatnot, women's movement and whatnot. And so you should give props to that civil rights activists and whatnot. So yeah, I get that, but at the same time, the LGBTQ individuals that has suffered from oppression and like I said, like I don't think you should be telling somebody that like, is it that bad? Like I can't walk over to a girl or a woman and be like, hey, is it really that bad to be paid unequal compared to a man, but you have the same position, not to have the same.
God, Jesus, don't bring that up right now. Don't bring that up now. Wait up. No, wait. Okay,
do something.
Okay, no. Okay. I get what you're saying. That you can't. You don't know what they're experiencing. Everybody has different experience. Everybody's got a different. Okay, well, why is the rate still the rate? So it is bad then. It has to be because people are trying to commit suicide here, right?
Yeah, but believe it or not, that when you constantly have hate thrown at you, you know, like just literally getting degraded as something as dirt or literally being a social class below dirt, then we would have a conversation, you know? Like, I don't know if you ever went through a time where you felt discriminated against because of your ethnicity or whatever, but
and
people,
I didn't care.
But yeah, but that also goes on personality, that goes on just whoever you are as a person. Unfortunately, your ethnicity isn't as a problem as what someone's sexual orientation is, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with that nobody would flip over you being what, Filipino? What are you?
Yeah,
exactly. Nobody's gonna give two shits about that, because you know why? Because at least being Filipino, what are you at the end of the day? You're a Filipino straight man. Where if I'm a freaking German, Irish, Italian, Russian, Persian individual, and because my sexual orientation is gay, that ruins everything as me as an individual, because that one component of my life that people don't agree with, it literally deteriorates everything else as an individual. You know, we don't go, you know, so at least what you have going on, Felix and Leo, that at the end of the day, you're a straight male, so no one is literally giving two F's about you because you're not objected to the standard or to what the, you know, what it is, you know?
That gay people get.
Okay, can I ask a question though?
Okay, ask me a question.
Why didn't African Americans have such a hard time?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, why is it that they were able to overcome and succeed with no like suicide rate? they were treated like shit as well. Second
So you're
class
telling
citizens.
so wait,
Yeah, well, go ahead.
you're telling me that throughout all the civil rights activist years of activism and whatnot, slavery, oppression, and just the really ugly history that
Mm-hmm.
they have gone through as a community, you're telling me that there's no data statistic, or anything that shows that that African Americans during slavery did not kill themselves to be released from that type of life. You're telling me that, yeah, I
Oh,
have a
I'm sure
hard
it
time with that.
happened, but
Exactly. So
it's.
you can't.
Oh no, but
Oh
I'm
my
talking
god.
about the percentage. That's why, like, the percentage is a big deal. Okay, like I don't know why it's a rate that nobody has ever addressed about the trend. Everybody brings it up, but they just say it's not comparable.
Okay,
Why?
but
Why isn't it
Leo,
comparable?
Leo, who's trying to? I'm not trying to compare numbers. I've never said like one saying like this is high because of this reason. But you're the one who wants to compare numbers. I don't want to compare numbers because I know the numbers aren't even close to the magnitude of how both communities had to go through to get where they are today.
Yeah,
Definitely, that's not even.
I feel like blacks and Jews had it way worse.
That was never that I never disagreed with that. But
So
what you told me, but what
yeah,
you keep restating that does transgenders really have it that bad? They need to go kill themselves. I'm like, that's what I get irritated about
no,
because
I'm not saying that they didn't, but why is it so high? I didn't say anybody shouldn't kill themselves. You know, people do it on a regular basis.
but
It's
why
a
do
thing
they do
out there.
it, Felix?
But it's not at the same rate. There's a thing about that. The regular rate between like 20, like the teenagers is like what, 13 to 20%, and then transgenders is like 40 to 50%. That's like double. That's double,
Okay,
almost triple.
then Felix, then if you honestly really want to understand this statistic or whatever, then freaking I go literally go to the mall, dress up as a woman, literally dress heels, makeup, like literally go full blown out, see the way people look at you, see how people treat you differently for a day, and then maybe that sense of oppression and literally just feeling disgusted because you think that you should be a different way. Let's see how you feel at the end of the day, but the thing is you can't because you're not willing to step out of your little Filipino bubble and go into a transgender bubble. Like that's
Right.
why I can't speak for transgenders because personally for me I am not one, and I can't tell you like what they've like how it is for them, but the common ground that me and transgenders share is that we are against the norm. We don't fit in what the standard is in this country. Will hopefully will be changing soon, but that's the only thing that I have in common with them. But I bet you anything that if I dressed up transgender tomorrow, I would not be in such a level stated like mindset because of the looks that they get, the comments, the how they're degraded as just human beings in general, and just how they get discriminated against because nobody wants to deal with them, or how mispronounced that they are because people are so uncomfortable with the idea of being transgender that they isolate them to their own community because they don't want to overstep or use the wrong words. Nobody wants to be educated about them. They just want to isolate them.
I can agree with that. I see where you're coming from there. I mean, I've never disagreed with that with being the case. It just seems like even like pre and post operation, it's the same numbers, and it just seems like it doesn't make a difference what people are doing right now. And there's a lot of movements for it, the whole community, so the LGBTQ, and then like gay, pride or whatever. It's like moving up, but it's like hasn't changed for that community in terms of that rate. That's all I'm worried about.
Well, no, but here's the stupid thing about the gay community. Like, as of like a couple of years ago, we finally adopted the idea that okay, maybe being gay isn't bad. Like more Americans are in favor for it than ever before. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just like one stage of the movement where now we're transitioning to are we comfortable with the idea with transgenders? And honestly, they're getting more backlash than any part of the lettering in LGBT.
Mm-hmm.
They So obviously that's going to take time as if the first movement happened, but I just think that it's kind of obtuse to question a statistic when you personally can't relate to a statistic.
So do you think it's moving a little too quick, and maybe that's where there's like a big backlash on it?
Um, well, but you think about it, what's going to be different from now until later? Literally nothing. Like we made, I think it's not too quick because look at we made a progressive move with when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that gay marriage is marriage and that it's protected under the Constitution. That was a great statue, a very progressive move on, legal terms of what marriage is. And to be honest, that's when the best time is to kind of just shoot everything out all at once because you don't know how today's administration is going to roll back or already try to roll back many statutes that protect individuals that are gay and whatnot. And so I think with every progressive move that we make forward, I think that we should always try to push everything out all at once because you honestly don't know what's going to happen to the point where we might have a president that might ban transgenders from the military or from adopting orphans and whatnot. So I think that any political sense that is the right move because, like I said, it could be rolled back any day of our lives right now.
So it's kind of like a policy of just try to dish out as much as we possibly can until we can't.
Isn't that the goal of most administrations, right? Isn't that why like the president of their last couple months literally goes to the wall and starts like pounding one out because they know this is the last like 5 months of this party's administration that's going to be overlooking the country, so we want to get as much done.
Yeah, so I guess what I was asking is, so do you think the reason why the transgender people get so much, a lot of hate and stuff like that and discrimination, is because they're moving too fast, type of thing? I think I would assume that most Americans are perfectly fine with gay marriage, but then I think that transgenderism is another like step. And
well, the biggest issue with transgenderism, I know, not I know, is that people don't see it as a thing, just like they didn't see that gay was a thing. I think that's the biggest issue. Is people are like, oh, well, something's clearly wrong. This man thinks he's a woman. That kind of thing. So like, same thing with gay. Back, I don't know how long ago, but like most people probably think, oh, this is some sort of changed and reverted back to the correct way of being straight. Like it's an environmental thing. That's why I always thought of it as more environmental than just being born with it, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's just a hard concept for people to grasp, and then obviously it's not something that people are into. Like you're not into. I mean, I don't know if you're gay, Leo, but you don't like taking dicks up the ass, right? Probably. So you're like, that's like a weird idea to you. So then you're not for it.
But the problem is, and like I think this topic is so diverse and so complex that I don't feel like there's ever going to be a definite answer for any of the topics and subtopics that we're speaking about because it's just so diverse as a topic. But what I'm saying is that because like you said, Leo, have you ever taken a dick up the ass? And you say no because I'm not gay. That taking a dick up the ass doesn't make you gay. See, it's
enjoying it.
Wait, no, because.
Go ahead. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Oh man.
I'm just kidding. Relax.
The problem is with people today and people back in the day that were so quick to put a label on literally everything to define what a woman is, what a man is, and what our actions are. Like because somebody enjoys. Okay, so you're telling me
go ahead.
That you're saying that because you never got a dick up the ass that you're not.
That's not what I'm saying.
But honestly,
that's not what I'm saying.
Know if you did not try it, right?
Yeah,
it's
well,
like,
for one, there's two things though.
Girl, does that make you straight? No, that just makes you enjoy the intercourse. You know, like let me put this in terms, and this is what I learned in my
Well, no, okay, wait. Let me define real quick. I always thought that heterosexual is being sexually attracted to females, and then homosexual is heterosexual is being attracted to the opposite gender, while homosexual is being sexually attracted to the same gender, right?
So Leo, but Felix, now you're saying attracted. Are
sexually.
We talking physical, or are we talking
sexually?
Emotional? But why is but how do you know? But isn't that based on what you deemed valuable in a relationship? You know, like personally for me, I go for more than sexual being attracted rather than personality wise.
Oh, I don't. That has nothing to do with heteros or homosexuality. That's why sexuality is in the name. It's about who you're attracted to in terms of having sex, which is the whole point of it in the first place. People didn't care about, or not as much before, about personality. It was just whether you were sexually attracted to them. Obviously, over time, people have grown to like different things because there's so many different things. 7 billion people in the world, way more options, and so people grab onto different things. Some people like opposite gender, some people like same gender, some people like fat chicks, some people like thin chicks. It's just how it goes.
I just think that we like I said, we're so quick to label like what is considered straight, what is considered gay. Like for example, here, I'll be straight up. I just enjoy getting pleased sexually. Like I don't care if it comes from a girl. I don't care if it comes from a guy. You know, like
so you're bi.
But no, because I care. Let me give you.
What would you call? Okay, but what would you say you are though?
Let me finish. But that's the problem. See, that's the problem with you straight people. That you want to label so bad.
It's not about a label, because it seems like people get offended when the label is wrong. If it's wrong, then it's a problem. If I called,
obviously, but that goes on individual. Like I don't care. Like if you know, like personally for me, I like to keep the bitches guessing. You know, like I don't. You know, like. You will, like, maybe when I die, I'll tell you. But what I'm saying is, like, even in human sexuality, teach you the first thing is that you can literally put a bag over someone's head and they can give you a blowjob. And no matter if it's a freaking male or female, you're going to get hard because you know why? Because your freaking mind is connected to that mouth saying, hey, when that mouth does that, I'm going to get hard. It does not matter what. Hey, yeah, exactly. It does not matter what gender is giving you that pleasure, and that's why I think freaking
it might not matter, but if you're not attracted to it,
but if you get an erection, is that are you attracted to it or not because you're not emotionally connected to it? But remember what you said, it's sexual. So Felix, if you're getting a blowjob by a guy and you get hard, does that mean you're gay because you got hard because you're sexually attracted to the feeling of what's happening? And you
never said who it was. I don't know who it was.
I said if it was a guy giving you a blowjob and you got hard, because majority of men, no matter where it's coming from, regardless of male or female, are going to get hard because, like I said, your mind is connected to that mouth, and that mouth is a trigger of sexual that will
really. I get it.
Great, exactly. So
but odds are the only reason you're attracted to it is because you're picturing what you're attracted to. If not, you probably wouldn't.
But if you're basing sexual orientation off of off of body features or off of sexual chemistry or sexual responses, like your boner, does that mean you're gay? Fuck no, it doesn't. It just means you like to get bomb head, like I do.
You don't know it's a guy.
You don't know what it is though. Like this is the thing. Like this is why people are like, oh, is having sex with a I don't know how to say. Is it if you're a transgendered woman, you're now a woman. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not too sure.
I always fuck that up. But let's just say it's transgender now they're a woman, right? People will argue if you had sex with that person, is it gay or not? And I would say no, because your odds are you're attracted to the female or feminine aspects of that person.
Yeah. But
just because you're having sex with somebody that used to be a guy doesn't make you gay. Like you're attracted to, let's say, the tits or the vagine, whatever. Like what? But if you don't know who you're getting head from, how can you identify that? You don't know.
Leo, do you seriously think you're literally bending it to be in your favor of what you want it to be.
Okay, what do you want it to be? Well, I don't understand, because I understand your point. Your point is that it doesn't matter who you're getting head from, because it's head. I get that, but you don't know who it is, so if it just feels good, you're probably going to imagine. If you imagined, oh, well, let's go with this one. If you imagined while you were getting this head that it was somebody you were absolutely repulsed by, don't like them, you don't want to ever see them, and then you start picturing them in your head, are you actually going to get hard off of that? I don't know, but some people are probably more horny than others, but
True.
But like, let's say you were absolutely repulsed, disgusted, whatever. This was the person you're picturing in your head. Would you be still turned on?
I think that just goes on. But see, the issue that I keep saying is the individual person. I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for you or Leo or any other.
Yeah, so answer the question.
But what I'm saying is that, to me, I'm a very vibrant, very exercise sexual person where I don't mind that stuff, But if it's somebody that I'm repulsed to, that I don't like, then it just honestly it just depends, It just depends on mentally if I'm into it or mentally that I'm attracted, because like I think with me there's a lot of times where I want to have sex just to have sex. I can care less where it's coming from. Of course I have standards in the world, but it could be that time where other cases where I'm looking for something very specific, So these questions are very open-ended where I would love to give you a definite answer, but I can't because, like I said, it just honestly goes on the type of mood. Sometimes I just want to, like, shove my wiener down someone's throat regardless of what they look like.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
So,
to you, it doesn't matter. You're all about the
Okay,
pleasure.
the issue, though, is that he... Okay, so the issue, though... No, that's not the issue that I'm... I thought, when I went into the question, I didn't know that didn't care about the say because I remember you used to say fuck women, so that's
well, no, fuck men and women, like gay men suck. They're probably a lot worse than women, just like on relationship level, to me they are. But at the same time, what?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like how?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's see it. Yeah.
Like how?
Why are gay men worse?
Okay, first of all, don't make it sound like I said gay men are like worse.
No. I meant like in your experience, how are they different from women? How about
they give worse head, I'm just kidding.
Actually, no, it's proven that guys give better head than girls.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, yeah, because when you have that big throat and that Adam apple, there's a lot more you can do, Like, that's why, like, it baffles me why, like, like, and this is, like, another weird thing that I always think about, that why men compete to be masculine, right? Does anybody know the answer to this?
Is it like a whole testosterone level thing?
Your answer?
Oh, Jesus.
Why do men compete to be why do men thrive to be masculine?
Why do they want to be why do they want to be the alpha male type of thing?
Yeah, why do they want to be masculine? Why do they want to have muscles? Why do they want to be rich and just kind of like show off in a cocky alpha way? Yes.
To get some poontang, man.
Okay, Felix, what's your answer?
It was like a testosterone nature alpha male thing because that's the whole positional thing. You feel better when you're stronger.
Okay, well, unfortunately, both of you are wrong.
That's what you think, but yeah.
No, because I just watched a freaking documentary in my English class.
Wow.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, it's not like we got it off freaking Nickelodeon or something. But no, literally the only reason why men compete to be masculine, not to compete for the female attention, it's for them to compete with other males.
True. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, you're competing to be
But that's the main drive for them to be the way they are masculine. It's not.
What about women? Women can't compete amongst each other.
Yeah, I'd say women do the same thing. They'd be like, it's almost like when women
But honestly, but do you ever hear about negative feminism? No. Do you only hear about Oh my God, no! That you're looking at it from a political point of view. Shut the fuck up, Felix. I hate you.
Go ahead.
No,
what were you going with? I thought you were talking about. I was like, what do you mean? A lot of people are against.
No, I'm not talking about like feminism in the political sense. I'm talking about feminism of like body features of just like that, like sexual
Yeah, so
Like,
they compete in
you
that
know,
way.
but you don't see women. You don't, like you don't see women like. Well, I guess there's some
Compete
women
against
that
each other? Yeah, they
yeah,
do all the
Yeah,
time.
I was gonna say they could probably compete more because they have more outward appearance factors to compete for, whether it be makeup, body features, etc., personality.
yeah, but
It's like, oh, she's prettier than me. Fuck her. I don't like her.
Exactly.
She's a bitch.
that's just
She's
a shallow
prettier. But she's
bitch.
a
That's
bitch.
not a woman.
That's a what? Go ahead. Wait, no, go ahead. You can.
That's just a shallow one, like how there's some guys that think that they're hot shit because they have the biggest muscles, they drive some type of car and whatnot, but at the end of the day they probably have a small wiener and too small ball sack, like that's just how it goes. The bigger the truck, the smaller the wiener is, and unfortunately that's just how it goes.
But that's why they're trying to make up for it, though, like with all the bravado-ness and like big truck and money and whatnot.
Exactly, but I'm just saying that masculine has great qualities that I think every man should pick up of, but also at the same time, we can't ignore that masculine is a very negative, abusive aspect to what men are. That's why a lot of domestic abuse cases start. That's why a lot of rape happens, because rape is based off of male dominance against somebody that is weaker and more, and that can't survive themselves.
Yeah,
And
bitches are
and
crazy though.
but oh my god. But that's where but even from a freaking early age we're taught that women are less than men because you know why? Because every time that we
Okay, I
freaking
never heard that.
Oh really? Because every time you freaking watch porn to jack off your wiener, Felix, what's most
Yeah.
likely happening in that video? That the man is dominating over the woman where the woman's acting like she can't barely like take any of it, that she's acting weak and helpless and you
Damn,
know
what are you watching?
It's literally just regular porn, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why most guys get off on it because it's a more of a psychological thing, saying that you're literally using somebody as a
Wait, but
tool
then women
rather.
women watch the same porn too.
Oh, oh my God, Felix, you know everything. You know about transgenders. You know about
I
Jews.
do
You
a
know
lot of
about what
research.
watch porn. Yeah, uh-huh.
Well, that's true. Well, what? Okay, let's Google.
That's a weird
Continue.
research topic.
What?
That's a weird. See, I can't speak because I don't know any women that watch porn, or I talk to them
It's
about
not
it.
even That's like research. So they watch almost the same porn that guys do. The only other category that would be more popular for women is probably, I don't even know, gay.
Like lesbian, yeah.
Gay. It's the same reason
No,
why
wouldn't gay or lesbian.
that's why men would like to watch lesbian. They like watching two of the same shit they like. It's just like the similar idea for women, probably.
Wait, so they would watch like gay porn or what?
I don't know. That
I
one
don't know,
was
but that is just a preference of what you like, like there's some people out there that are a little bit freaky deaky, that they're into very exotic whatever, but to me that's whatever, but you just can't judge them off of what they watch, because if that was the case then we all be fucking freaks.
Yeah, but like
well, there's a reason it's called being freaked in the first place. It's just it's not has nothing to do with it being weird. It just has to be
uncommon.
uncommon, exactly. But people call it weird, obviously, because they're not into it themselves. Let's say.
Exactly, but so why can't we put that same type of thinking towards homosexuals or transgenders?
I think the homosexual one has come quite a way pretty quickly, I'd say, and I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, we already went over that.
Yeah, so but the transgender one I feel like is an issue because there's all these side things that they're trying to implement that it's almost like trying to push a bill that says everybody should get $100, and then you got all these side things that don't make sense, like, oh, but we get to take this. For example, like the genders thing. How many genders do you think there are? Is it?
Wait, what was the question again?
How many genders do you think there are? See, my mic's not picking.
Okay, you even know, and when we tried to have a discussion last time, that I'm on the same boat as you. I don't understand the whole gender fluid thing. I really don't.
I don't either.
Because I personally have not researched it or honestly given enough attention to it, because I think I'm not going to say it's getting out of hand, because I can't tell somebody what they're feeling or whatever that is getting out of hand, because that's not appropriate of me, especially, since let me use the correct term because I know you guys want precise terms. I guess bisexual because I like women to suck my wiener sometimes, you know? But
Oh wait, could I ask? Let me ask this though to you. Like, so it had to do. What is? Well, you don't. So you're saying there's still like two genders, right?
mhm.
So like what? Ah, fuck. I'm gonna get off rail. Do you consider them transgender even pre-op? There we go. That was
What do you like before they have like the major surgeries to fully
yes.
well, wouldn't that be gender fluid at that point? Because
Gender. What is? I have no idea.
so I think gender fluid is that you literally don't have any of that. I don't. You might want to Google it. You can't quote me on it because I'm not too sure. But I think that it's when it could be like a female that hasn't had any of the major surgeries to differentiate, you know, that she's a male now, but it's more of her fluid, like it's more of like her blood that's, you know, like does that make sense? I don't know. You might
Yeah,
want to.
I get what you're saying. But so what's the point of like? Do you? I don't even. I'm not trying to like put you under the light, but like, do you know what the point is of changing gender to something that's not based off of genitalia?
Because I guess that because it's an income problem too. You're telling me that somebody, let's just say in the freaking projects, that if it's a man, but they honestly feel like they were born in the wrong body, that they should be a female. You're telling me that they're gonna have the resource or income to have that procedure done, and because, but why do you need a procedure to to be a certain way? You know, like that's what I'm saying is that we're so caught up in, well, you need to do this to be considered that. Why is that? You know,
Now,
like I'm pretty
why can't people just live their life as, let's say, a man, but have whatever female qualities they wanted? Like, not like without changing their gender, they just do whatever they wanted. Well, why is it that they have to try to believe that they're the opposite gender as opposed to just doing what they would if they were the opposite gender?
because Leo, I mean Felix, Leo, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm
No,
here.
okay. Leo, Felix, do you have to believe that you're Filipino?
Do I have to believe it? I don't have to believe it.
Why is it? Why don't you have to believe it?
Well, I mean, I could be wrong.
But why? But why don't you have to believe that you're Filipino?
I
Why?
could believe whatever I
Okay,
want. I could believe
why?
like the Holocaust didn't happen, but like, you know,
No, fool. That's stupid. And ever.
I'm just stating something else. Like I don't have to believe certain things. I could believe 9/11 didn't even happen either. You know, like well, what about it though?
But what I'm saying is that if you're so 100% confident that you're Filipino with literally besides blood work and DNA tests to prove for it, then why is it that that somebody like as somebody as transgender can't have the same conversation as you, but you are required for them to have surgery or to have certain body parts to be considered a
Because
male
that's
or
what we
female?
had used to do it in the first. That's how we consider gender in the first place. Why?
But
What's the
because
difference
it's
between a man and a female cow? What's the difference? I mean, a female cow and a bull. Like, what's the
the
difference?
anatomy,
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
it.
Yeah, the anatomy. So, like, that's why I'm saying that should still be up to code. You can be a woman if you wanted to. If you were a man, just go through the procedure. But I don't think it should be okay to be pre-op and then just say whatever you want. Because one day you could be a woman and walk into a female bathroom, and then another day you're a man walk into a male bathroom, and then you want to go in the military, and then you become a woman, so you have easier what is it, entrance exam scores or
Like
whatever.
they're
Oh,
wrestling you.
is that why males turn into females so they have an easier entrance score for the army?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
that's.
my god.
I'm not saying that's their reasoning. I'm just saying like what's stopping people from just doing that if this is the world we're gonna end up going down where pre-op.
Because and that should just show you that people aren't doing this type of transformation possibly get ahead in life because they might have like what you say an easier entrance exam or whatever. That's how you know that people aren't doing it because because they can or they're bored. They're honestly doing it because obviously there's a part of them somewhere in their body that honestly feels that they're not in the right body or gender, that's why they're willing to pay as much as they do to go through the social, economic, and freaking downfall that most transgender people go through because of their environments and whatnot. So you're telling me that people just wake up with this idea and say, man, I want to be a female and I want to go through the freaking shit that I got to go through because the guy that lives next door to me thinks that I'm a fucking monkey because I don't. But what I'm saying, okay, Leo, I want to hear you talk now.
No, yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. It's like, but I think what Felix's point is that if you declare yourself to be, let's say I'm a guy, right? But in myself, I believe that I'm a woman. What is there stopping me from being? I guess I understand your point, Zach, where you're saying that people aren't doing this to reap benefits because why would you go through all this crap just to get something
I get it. I get post-op. I understand post-op. I get the post-op crap, like all the stuff they go through. I understand that. I'm talking about preventing what's gonna happen if fucking we just let all this shit loose, like we kill gender and then you can identify as whatever you want. Like what happens there?
But at the end of the day, Felix, does it honestly fucking matter to your life?
I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
But I think it'll affect other people.
But oh my god!
Like Nate, like stuff like that. Okay, how do you deal with, like, for example? Okay, let's segue. We're gonna segue right here, right? This is gonna be a perfect segue. What's stopping me, or what's stopping a pro professional, fucking tennis player from a male one from switching over to female?
Wait, what was the question again?
You're a pro professional tennis player. Let's go with fucking number 1, number 2, Roger Federer, whoever else, right? Fucking big names. What's stopping them from not having any more competition because of how good they are compared to women, and them just switching genders and shitting on women through the ages of 40 to 50 because men are that superior at the moment?
Okay, did you ever see that movie with Steve Carell and Emma Stone about the tennis playing Battle of the Sexes?
No, but what are you going to bring up? That they're equal? Because they're not quite equal in terms of physical competition like that. At least in tennis. Because I know, because
oh my God.
There was the there was the article about one of the what's their name? Venus Serena Williams sisters.
Oh yeah, she was yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She just warmed up against the fucking like ranked 200 player and she got dicked on. She only scored like 1 point, maybe took like one game of 1 set out of everything, and then like it was like ranked 200, but she's like the best female player and like one of the best female players in the world. There's like that huge discrepancy. So what's stopping like a male UFC fighter but just switching over, becoming female, and then being top? Now we just have all this fucking dominance off the male side.
But I think the fact that if we were in a country where a man was able to make that decision, why does it matter, right?
Why does it? Because then men are just gonna dominate in physical competition and everything like that. So what's the?
Well, believe it or not, there's going to be very egotistic, very negative masculine men that are never going to make that decision, and that's why we honestly don't have to worry about
just Fallon Fox.
Problem. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Fallon Fox was in female, quote unquote female. She was a male and started dicking people.
Oh yeah, she fucked everyone up.
Fucked everybody up. Yep. Is that okay?
I don't know, Felix. I just feel like it's so. I just know that it's such a complex. I just wonder if the conversation would be different if you would consider yourself bi or transgender or gay. I honestly think the conversation would be completely different because I'm seeing it from a point of view where I can't say that I've gone through the same what most individuals that are LGBTQ. I think on my part, I've had it very easy. I've been extremely blessed not to have that type of negative backlash and whatnot, so that's why I can't really speak on the subject too much or speak on behalf because I haven't really gone through.
No, it's not about speaking on behalf. It's not like you're representing them. It's just your opinion.
Well, it's my opinion, but my opinion is very biased because my opinion isn't hinder like the kids in the South that literally get bullied, that get kicked, that get smacked. Their opinion is probably a lot different because they go through the physical and mental abuse of wanting to love a different way. Where I've had some trials and tribulations, and whatnot, but not to the point where my opinion is so hindered like other people on the other side of the country. But what I'm saying is that if you honestly think about it, if we started out that gay marriage was typically normal, like back in the day,
yeah,
it's because the only problem is with this conversation is that it's something new, and majority of Americans, because they're freaking old and they're white and they're conservative, don't like change. So when you try to introduce something, like a freaking a woman president, a black president, or any type of freaking other than white president, everybody starts to freaking flip because conservatives, white people don't like change. That's why I can't freaking wait for the freaking baby boomer generation to die off. I'm dead serious. I honestly think once they die off, socially, economically, and freaking everything all around is going to be a lot better because that generation in whole has brought our generation, Generation X, literally down because of their conservative white privileged ways.
But I mean, isn't that go kind of back to what I was saying, where it's like too much change too fast, and that's why there's kind of like this backlash with transgender people.
So would you honestly say that about slavery? Was saying, man, we
no.
We got
wait, but even after they signed that off, though, people held on to but it was a slow change.
Well, yeah, because it was such a freaking momentum, very big, complex issue where it literally divided our country literally into two different unions. So yeah, that's a complex scale. But what I'm saying is that, like I said, what changes change? What is different from now until later on?
Because I think it's because, like I said, it's too much too fast, and that's how people are gonna react to it. It's almost like
if we just start signing off bills to do a bunch of shit, like who knows what's gonna happen, and everybody's gonna get scared.
Well, I was gonna say with like slavery, there was no slaves for like 100 years before they had, their full rights. And if you were to just we abolish slavery and immediately they went into vote, we're gonna change, we're gonna give them the civil rights and all that stuff, it will probably never have passed. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that they should never push for change, because you should always push for positive change and stuff like that. But I think what's happening now is that it might be a little too quick for the same people that you're saying, the conservative, older people that aren't really they don't like that change. So maybe maybe I'm just wondering if that's the reason why there's a large backlash with the transgender people, more so with the gay, because the gay thing has been going on since like the 60s, even maybe even before that probably.
But even in 2008, 80% of Americans were in disfavor of gay marriage. That's why in 2008 California passed Proposition 8, where it banned gay marriage. And then fast forward 2014 or 2012, where momentum started picking up, and then all of a sudden the majority of the opinion for gay marriage suddenly changed. But why is that? It wasn't because the freaking baby boomers developed hearts or developed, saying, oh my God, there's more than white people in this country. There's more than straight people in this country. It's because of the millennials and because of Generation X.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but that whole Prop 8 thing, I think the reason why it didn't pass, or it did pass, I can't remember. Do you remember? It was written really weird. It was written where
yeah, that was a big issue for a lot of people. Yeah. That it was really written weird, because if you were no on Prop 8, you were for it, and if you were against it, you were yes. So a lot of people obviously didn't do the research, and it was done because they did that on purpose, because Californians are stupid and we don't like to read. They want everything express lane, but socially, we have developed where if you won't even see half the freaking things we see on TV, especially with like TV shows with there being gay characters in 2008. Hell fucking no. I think Modern Family at that time was the only TV show that openly had gay characters that was on air that people had a big issue with and whatnot. But now, literally every freaking TV show that you watch has a gay little boy on it or something, and everybody's all just gay, you know?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That so there's been a good amount of change in the right direction. But what I'm saying is that since they're trying to push this maybe a little too quick for a certain group of people, and I mean whether you like it or not, that certain group of people are the ones that are gonna, they play a pretty large role in policy and stuff like that. So, I'm not saying that they should never push for equal rights because of course they should. No one should get discriminated against.
I'm so glad that we all see that they
Yeah,
deserve equal rights, because I wasn't really sure how this conversation was going to be.
No, yeah, they should. Yeah, they for sure should have equal. At least I believe they should have. But what I'm saying is that maybe the reason why I'm just trying to figure out the reason why there's such big backlash on the gender people.
The reason I feel like the biggest reason why there's backlash, two reasons. One, they are demanding to change certain things, like the amount of genders. Like they're trying to change like biological things that we've had in place for a while, which is obviously gonna arouse a lot of people to try and stand up against it that don't believe that in the first place. And then the other idea that it's such a weird concept, more weird than being gay. I have to say, I'm not gonna.
I hate you.
No, it's not. It's not a bad thing. It's just it's completely different. You think about it, like, oh my god, this person is born with male parts, but believes they're the opposite gender. You think that's weird than being sexually attracted to the people of the same gender? That's obviously more weird. There's no way that's not more weird. And obviously, that's gonna put up some flags, some halts, some stop here at the border real quick. Like, are completely baffled to this idea. I feel like that has way more presence than just being gay.
Well, yeah, and like I said before, like I can't, like the reason why I'm not really commenting on the whole whatever, because I personally don't understand it, and I don't, to me it's confusing that I haven't done a lot of research on it, so I honestly can't even give you like an opposing viewpoint of, but I can say that at the end of the day, if it doesn't concern you, if it's not your body, it's not your fluids that is
I don't
changing,
think that's what's mattering to people. I think it has to do with stuff like the gender thing. They're trying to change the whole the idea of a gender is. Like, it's not the parts you have, but just what you believe, and that like completely like de-lines everything built up with it.
But why is that so threatening? That, oh my god, we're gonna lose everything that we've built up as a culture, blah blah. Why is that so threatening to lose?
Social constructs, of course.
Oh my god, no. Hey, do you know the difference between a traditional law and a modern law? Traditional law is literally, I like to describe it as freaking a bunch of white old privileged people that literally want to change for nothing because they're so fucking comfortable in their privileged high horse, Where modern laws that are change adapted literally for changing times. The reason why this is why a lot of time people dislike our government system, because we have laws and statutes in place that no longer is relevant of what's going on today. And that's what do you mean, like fucking what?
Yeah, like what law?
I think he's gonna go with the second one.
What's the second one?
Like to bear arms.
Well, do we know why we had that first in the Constitution?
Yeah, to stand. No, that was to fight against a tyrannical government.
Exactly, and there wasn't freaking police or any type of freaking organized anything. So that's why it was written.
Yeah, but police are also part of the government.
Well, now it is, but back in the day when that law was written, it was not that case. It was literally people fending for themselves to, take over to fight against the British government, So yeah, that was a great law for that time. But now, because we have a more organized, a more system going on with police, FBI, CIA, whatnot, there's honestly no need for that law to be intacted, because.
But don't you think it's better to have and not need than to need and not have?
Yeah, ask the parents of the kids that were shot, killed in every freaking mass shooting.
Well, that's just unlucky.
Oh my god. You just not say no. It's unlucky, it's unfortunate, and it didn't have to happen. It did not have to happen.
I feel like people that wanted to buy a gun though can just buy a gun even if it's off the black market.
Yeah.
I know we're getting into gun control here, but I don't know which way we want to go with this conversation.
I don't know, Felix.
Well,
Leo,
this is
it's
all about you. You're the guest. We get to talk. We're gonna talk about whatever you'd like to talk about.
So, I don't give me a new topic. I'm feeling good right now.
Well, you're feeling good. So what are your thoughts on gun control?
I think that there's no reason for any type of private citizen to have access to guns. That's why we have organized police, organized CIA, FBI to do that type of work for us. And I think that, the last, 4 years of how many fucking mass shootings that we've had, all done by white males, white straight males. Let me say that clearly. White straight males, not a white gay boy, not a black gay boy, not a freaking Latino gay boy. It's literally white, masculine, straight men that have done all this killing. And once again, masculine is linked to violence and violence is linked to mass shooting. That's my thoughts.
What does sexuality have to do with it?
Because when you're so masculine driven like these men are, that
why can't there be masculine gay people? You just said that was like an insult.
There are no, they are there. No, but and maybe this is what you don't see because you're not, in the gay world. Like probably the gayest you ever been, Felix, is going to Disneyland or something. But literally, the men that are typically masculine, that are all about the gay men that are all about muscles, about this and that. Literally, they literally thrive to be masculine because they want to bury the fact that they're gay. That they want to literally do everything in their power to be the opposite of what the public image of gay people are to straight people, because typically straight people think of feminine guys, like guys that act like girls, whatever. So that's why these men that are gay literally bulk up and have these very masculine features and whatnot, because they want to be set apart of what is it to be a homosexual male. And that to me is a negative type of masculinity, because you're not doing it to improve yourself, to want better for yourself. You're doing it because you want to distance yourself from people that are exactly like you, and you're doing it because of a false reality that straight people in this world has put on the gay community. That's what it is. That's why typically I don't go after masculine gay men, because I know there's a lot of insecurities, because they're that way for a reason. It's because they want to distance themselves from the people who have the same qualities as them of being homosexual.
They want to be the alpha male in the gay world.
No, they just want to be straight on the outside, but emotionally and sexually they want to be gay. But because outer image is the first thing that most people see, because we don't base off of personality right when we see somebody. It's always sexuality or attractiveness. That if you see a gay masculine man, you're gonna think he's straight. That's exactly what he wants you to think. But if you have that emotional sexual level with him, obviously he's gay, but you don't know that until you get to that stage. But if you're a straight man talking with a gay masculine man, you're not gonna ever know that part of that side of him, because you're not gonna get there, because he knows you're straight and he's not gonna try. It's a negative.
I'm a little confused though.
Leo, explain it to him.
Wait, no, but like the part you're saying they're trying to be so masculine, right?
Wait, what was the question?
No, but you're saying they're trying to be really masculine to cover up their homosexuality, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so why isn't it that they are not the one shooting up places?
Because they're not.
What's the difference between the masculinity of them and then the typical heterosexual masculinity? Like, well, I'm confused.
Because I think he's saying it's fake.
It's a fake reality. Like it's definitely a fake reality. Like, and plus people that
Oh, sorry. What are you saying?
No, go ahead.
I was like, what about like those like butch like dyke girls? You know, like those really lesbian ones. That have, like, flat tops.
Oh
You know,
my
you know
god.
what I'm talking about?
You fucking said really well.
Shut up.
They
Wait,
have
let's
like,
say
no,
everything
but they're
about
like
it.
manly, you know, like they're. I mean, is there like masculinity? I can't even fucking say it. Are they faking it too? Kind of like the gay guy that is masculine, like the
Why?
female that's
Oh,
masculine.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like
Go ahead and.
Wait, Leo, I mean, can you explain more? I got confused by the question.
so like is because you said that basically the gay male that is masculine is in essence uh putting a front that he's being masculine because he doesn't want to be looked as like gay, so he doesn't even have to like get into that. They're just gonna think he's straight. He doesn't have to worry about that. So what I'm asking is that is it the same thing for a female that is masculine, like the the ones with like flat top, like extra masculine ones, they have like flat tops and shit like that, and like
So you're telling me, so wait, so if you went to the gym and you saw a girl that had long hair, very feminine hair, whatever, and she literally had ripped abs, ripped everything, would you consider that masculine or not?
if she was like just ripped, like six pack
She
and like
she was six pack, literally her muscles were defining, but she had long, pretty hair. She was very well put together makeup wise and like posture, whatever. Like
And
just take
there's certain
just
specific.
take just think about this. Just take a Britney Spears like image, but beef her up about like 300 more pounds with abs and just like Hulk status. Would
yeah.
you
Yeah.
consider that girl feminine, masculine or non-masculine?
Masculine.
No,
I
I
would say
personally
so because
See,
would say
okay.
there's
non-masculine.
things that people will always say like man's shoulders. It's like things that are like not strictly, but typically a lot easier to achieve on a man.
See, I wouldn't say that she's masculine. I'd say she probably has like some like weird dysphoria where she's like just wants to get like super ripped or
Oh, are
some
you
shit.
talking about like personality or are you talking about like physical stature? I thought you were talking.
No, personality is
Oh,
irrelevant to this conversation because, like I said, you don't judge somebody off their personality when you see them across from you. You judge off of sexual appeal and whatnot. But give me
Uh,
like 1 second because I gotta pee real quick and I'm
Okay,
thirsty.
mm-hmm.
we'll have a
Don't be
little break.
talking shit about me either when I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some drinks. I'll be back.
Yeah.
All right, bye.